When the iPhone 17 Pro was announced, I was underwhelmed. I was a fan of the new orange color, but thought the rest of the design was underwhelming. My wife just got in the iPhone 17 Pro a few weeks ago, and the unboxing had me questioning my opinions. I thought I'd do something a little bit different here with this first thoughts video. Since it's not my phone, I did some investigative journaling and simply asked her what her first impressions were. Many times I've been so far in the deep end with tech that it's refreshing to have the thoughts of an average user. To remember that not everyone is obsessed with tech, buying new phones every year. She upgraded from a 14 to the Pro model for the first time ever. I have a list of glads and sads from her, and I'll interject my thoughts on a few of them as well. Starting with the feel in the hand, Apple rounded the corners even further over the 15 and 16 Pro design, and while I was skeptical and critical about them going back to aluminum, it does feel good in the hand. Unfortunately, it is slightly thicker and heavier than the iPhone 16 Pro that I have, but I'll cover more on that later. Next, onto cameras. Camera control is convenient, she says. While not new or specific to the 17 Pro, it's nice having the option to launch the camera from the side of the phone. The front camera is much improved on the 17 Pro with the ability to automatically shoot wide shots when more people join into the frame. The technical term for this is open gate, which just means that the sensor is capturing all of the information from the camera rather than using a cropped version. In this instance, cameras were the biggest reason for the upgrade. The regular 17 also saw improvements, but over the 14, the 17 Pro is a huge leap forward. You get a 48 megapixel main camera and wide camera, plus the new 8x zoom that is actually really impressive. Features like Apple Log 2, ProRes RAW, and other Pro features are nice for marketing or actual professionals, but they'll likely never be used in this case unless I borrow the phone for recording. On to the softwares. She likes liquid glass, and we have a cool background now in our iMessage chat. I'm also a big fan of the updates. Live activities have been a big help for the Huckleberry app on the phone and the watch to know when the next nap time is near, which you know is a real lifesaver for parents. The flashlight control is cool, and the ability to shape the beam and change the brightness directly from the dynamic island has been helpful as well. And maybe the best part so far is the new Siri animation. I'll admit the new Siri animation is cool, but Siri is still objectively terrible. Now, that's a fair amount of good. We should cover some things that have been annoyances for the person who is actually using this phone every day. The keyboard is terrible, and I think this is an iOS 26 problem, but there's also no shortage of people claiming the iPhone keyboard and predictive text has gotten worse, and I wholeheartedly agree. I am constantly typing the wrong thing, and an autocorrect might as well just not exist at this point because there's no way that I'm actually this bad at typing. For ergonomics as enthusiasts, we've been telling Apple for years, make the phone thicker, put in a bigger battery. And they finally did. A big camera bump the whole way across the back, and a thicker phone with the best battery life in an iPhone yet. Unfortunately for people who weren't part of this loud minority, the phone feels heavy and is slightly too big when you put on a case, and has a tough time fitting in girl pockets. The weight is actually noticeable to me even without a case, and it gets worse when you add some more bulk to the phone. Personally, I'd prefer it with no case, but phones getting knocked off of places by a baby is now a common occurrence in our house. Finally, on the design, the orange is a little too bright for me to ever want to buy it, despite being a papaya fan. Plus, there's been issues with damage and discoloration that we've seen on the internet. The silver would have been my choice, but why in the world Apple put the back glass as white when the rest of the phone is silver, I'll never know. Seriously, Apple, I don't know who okayed that in a design meeting, but it was a horrible choice. Finally, we get to the blue. It looks good, but instantly had fingerprints all over it, but at least the back glass is the same color, and overall it looks the best, at least to my eye. On to some minor issues. So we mentioned live activities earlier, and although have been helpful, it's bugged out a few times and just flat out refuses to work in certain applications. A restart of the phone has always solved this, but it's been annoying nonetheless. I briefly mentioned Siri. While not specific to iPhone 17, it's embarrassing that Apple has gone this long with how bad Siri is. I know they're trying to figure out their long-term AI plan, but they seem to have forgotten that the user experience used to be the center of their products. One final nit is that the clock doesn't show in some full-screen apps, specifically Solitaire or other Apple Arcade games. Again, important for parents. And it doesn't seem to be a game mode specific issue either, as that is off, and the clock still doesn't show up. Overall, the upgrade from the 14 to the 17 Pro has been worth it. During the unboxing, I was even pleasantly surprised by the feel of the phone in the hand and how Apple continues to make new hardware every year that makes me want to upgrade. Thanks for joining for some first thoughts on the iPhone 17 Pro. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tech insights. Have you made the jump to the iPhone 17 Pro, or are you holding out for yet another year? Let me know in the comments below, and if there's anything else that you want to cover, just drop me a suggestion. Until next time, later.